When I'm doing imagery, I'm sure to make sure to include all of my senses. I can hear the crowd, I can hear the buzz of the lights, I can feel the wind on my neck. And when I'm doing that, I can feel all of the muscles that I need to engage in order to do a good jump. So squeezing my core, my quads, feeling my arms. And then when I start moving my arms, that's when the jump starts. One of the most important components of imagery is the kinesthetic imagery. So actually feeling your body going through the motions as though you're actually out there competing. She'll go through her image and seeing herself, feeling herself go through the perfect jump and landing that jump every time. If you watch me in a competition state, I'm actually going to be doing my imagery right up until my coach tells me that the clock is running, which tells me I have 15 seconds before I have to ski down the in-run for my competition jump.
All right. So when Olympic freestyle skier Emily Cook uses positive visualization, she's calling it positive imagery. She's using it to help her focus, to help her manage her nerves, and of course to help her perform better. And I'm not asking you to fly down a frozen hill with skis strapped to your feet. I'm asking you to talk, which is something that I think you do every day. I do it every day. I do it for a living, of course. But I also get public speaking anxiety, even though I do it for a living and teach about it. I get public speech anxiety on the first day of class. I recently learned that I get some anxiety when I actually publish these lecture videos. And of course, I get public speaking or performance anxiety when I'm doing any kind of performance, typically improv, comedy, theater, performance of poetry, all those things gave me some anxiety. And I never quite fully overcame that, but I did learn to manage it and even start to utilize it. And what I mean by that is I would kind of funnel some of the energy I had, which was wild nerves. I'd learn how to kind of name it and funnel it into a more energetic or a more intense or a more powerful performance. So I was kind of utilizing the anxiety, not just simply surviving it. So in this lecture, I want to talk about managing communication apprehension, and specifically I want to talk about performance anxieties, strategies and tactics for dealing with performance anxieties. And instead of using my PowerPoint, I'm getting a little sick of using that, I'm going to spend most of my time through the web browser over here, and I'm going to be going through a page that should be on the next page in the module called Managing Communication Apprehension, and it's a resource page. So I'm just going to talk over it quickly. Communication apprehension is just the general term for any anxieties or apprehensions around the act of communication, listening, or speaking. We separate between psychological and physical anxiety, as well as process and performance anxiety. You can read about this, and I talked about process anxiety last time, so I'm not going to do that now. Basically, when it comes to feeling performance anxiety, it's a lot of physical symptoms, starting to be able to know what your physical symptoms are, naming those physical symptoms so that when they happen, you can go, when I give public speeches, my hand sweats, right? That doesn't freak you out then, hopefully. You can also find out by taking a self-assessment test. I would recommend the one at this link right here. It's this, I think. No, not this. This right here, a fillable form that you can fill out and get a score and find out if you're somebody who is predisposed to anxiety around communication, and that's called trait communication apprehension. Some of you else might be context communication apprehensive, which means that you only get apprehensive in certain given contexts, right? You might be outgoing in the classroom, but really nervous when you do interviews. All right. Not going to spend too much time about that. Read it, read up on it, and become more knowledgeable about what anxiety is. I want to focus on tips and tactics now. This would be like when you're preparing to give your speech. You're going to record your speech. You have some audience there, and you're going to give a speech to that audience. What do you want to do to prepare so that you honor your audience's time, honor your time, honor my time, right? So what you want to do is start by making sure that you're well rested. We're up here at the top here. Get some rest, right? Don't be overtired. I'd recommend even exercising on the day of the speech so that you are limber and that you got oxygen-rich blood in your veins. Eat, but don't overeat. Don't go on an empty stomach either. So eat a light meal, something healthy. Avoid caffeine. It just produces anxiety, the symptoms of anxiety. So sugar as well. I talked about positive self-talk in the last video a little bit, so I'm not going to spend much time with that now. But I will say, come up with your own mantra that you can use for positive thinking, something that you can repeat in your head on the days leading up to the speech and even right before the speech. When I go hiking, I like to say, Super Joe, Superman. I don't know. I got it from a wrestling camp that I went to a long, long time ago. But it keeps me focused and moving on the trail, which is important. For you, you can come up with a public speaking one. Public speaking is my thing. I can do this. I got this. Strong voice, no fear. Repeat that in your head. Positive visualization is what the Olympic skier Emily Cook was using. She's picturing herself going through her speech in vivid detail and in an embodied kind of way. You might want to practice systematic desensitization, which is a complex version of positive visualization where you kind of incrementally visualize more and more anxiety-inducing situations until you can tolerate them. You can read more about that at that link. I always recommend stretching and breathing on the day of your speeches. Get your body moving with the breath, breathing in and out, and that's very relaxing to the body. It's also good to warm up all of the muscles here that we're using when we're doing public speaking. I like yoga poses, so you can do some basic yoga poses. I put a link to it there, and you can look up YouTube videos as well. All right, we're going to do some quick little vocal warm-ups. Now, my students in a face-to-face class really get a kick out of this, and I look very weird in the class. I can't imagine how I'm going to look here in my apartment, which looks out, there's like a courtyard behind us. Anywho, a vocal warm-up is good because it's going to get your tongue limber, your mouth and soft tissue kind of moving, and that's important to be able to do, to articulate clearly. So I like to do T2, T2. I'll move my face. Get your face going. T2, T2. Unique New York. Unique New York. You repeat that. You need unique New York. You hear the ends of the words. You need unique New York. Right? Okay. Red leather, yellow leather. It's always good to have some water. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Get the mouth moving. This one's a fun one. We're over here. And it makes the consonant sounds, but I'll switch the vowel sounds. And it'll sound kind of goofy. Ma-na, la, da, ba, za. Me, ne, le, they, be, ze. Mu, nu, lu, du, vu, zu. Okay, I'll stop before your neighbors get suspicious of what's going on over there. Practice progressive muscle relaxation. That is a good technique where you kind of systematically tense and relax your muscles in groups. You can read about that there. Self-administered acupressure. Pushing on little points on your on your body that are, I don't know, perhaps relaxing. I'm not a touch scientist, I'm a speech scientist. So, but if it works, why not try it? It's certainly relaxing to just like hold and press yourself, you know. Okay, listen to a guided meditation. There's a link to a YouTube video. I subscribe to Audible, which gives me Audible books, and I listen to self-help things. And there are free guided meditations on there, which are really great. So look for some medium that will allow you to, not like, a psychic, no. Look for some media that will allow you to do a guided meditation. All right, so that's my quick talk. I hope that was quick. When you get nervous when you're doing public speaking, sometimes time becomes a bit of a blur. So that's why I do want you to practice for time as well. But practice these, and good luck. Chill out.